The Council for the Advancement of the South African Constitution has welcomed the judgment ordering former President Jacob Zuma to personally pay for his legal costs.
Well, I think this is a very important judgment that really exposes the manner in which Jacob Zuma went around trying to defend and avoid having his day in court for over a decade. In the course of its judgment, the court recounted all of the cases that came before court, how many counsel were employed by Zuma in all of those matters, and referred on more than one occasion about the luxury that Mr. Zuma took it upon himself to enjoy at taxpayers' expense.
The National Prosecuting Authority is set to appeal the judgment that saw Soweto school patroller Johannes Molefe acquitted of all 14 sexually related charges. Acting Judge Peet Johnson set him free, saying that there was no evidence to convict him. However, the NPA is adamant that the court's decision was unreasonable and warrants an appeal.
It was a scathing judgment, witheringly labelled by the judge as a comedy of errors. Judge Johnson described as embarrassing the manner in which police and the prosecution presented the case. However, the NPA believes it has sufficient legal reasons to appeal.
The NPA is displeased with the judgment handed down by the Johannesburg High Court sitting in Pamridge yesterday, where former AB Xuma scholar patroller Mr. Johannes Molefe was acquitted. The NPA therefore intends to appeal the judgment based on grounds that the verdict was unreasonable and could not be validated by substantial evidence.
The NPA appealed for patience on the part of parents of the victims. However, it may prove to be an uphill legal battle.
One must bear in mind that the first and foremost requirement is that leave be granted to take the matter on appeal. That in itself is no easy task. It's a hurdle that the NPA must overcome before they will be allowed to proceed with any appeal.
In the aftermath of the judgment, an eerie calm descended on the community around the AB Xuma primary school. It's a stark contrast to the uproar that gripped this community after the news of the rape allegations of minors.
He was always in the company of the children in the morning and late afternoon. He used to give them his phone to play with and bought them sweets. The kids aren't safe. Even now that he's released, he may have started again. The kids are not safe.
This community member says Molefe once approached his 12-year-old daughter.
I went to the principal.
I went to school to report his advances to my daughter. I spoke to the principal of the school, who then called him over the phone, and he apologized.
Almost a kilometer away from the school, Molefe's neighborhood is divided. It's not a busy street, this, where Johannes Molefe stays. No protests and certainly no celebrations since his release. But his neighbors, although wanting to stay anonymous, are divided on the judgment, but agree on this, that they will not attack him. Meanwhile, the former scholar patroller's brother says as a family, they've decided to move him to an undisclosed location for his safety. Molefe's sister says this case affected the family badly.
It affected my health very badly. I have arthritis, high blood pressure, and sugar diabetes, and I relapsed because of this case.
The families of the alleged victims are being counseled. Itakana Magwedza, SABC News, Johannesburg.